Everybody, make sure you guys hit that like button and share out the live to all your social medias. We'll be getting started here ASAP. I'm just sharing out the live myself. We'll get everything going here ASAP. Big shout out to everybody for tapping in. Again, everybody, I'm just sharing the live out to our social medias, trying to get this filled up in here. That way we don't have to go over anything else, you know, repeatedly or any of that type of stuff. Please make sure you guys hit that like button and share out the live. We really appreciate all y'all. What's up, everybody? Big shout out to everybody tapping in, man. About to get this started real quick, man. Shout out to everybody for tapping in. Sorry for the late start, man. I had all intentions on being on here at 6. Had a little couple technical difficulties, man, but we're in here. We're in here. Big shout out to everybody tapping in tonight, man. Big shout out to everybody. You know, make sure you guys hit that like button, share out the live. And, you know, we're going to get started. We're going to go over these puppies and all this, man. I'm going to answer any questions you guys got, you know, and, you know, we're going to make this a dope one, man. If you guys got any questions or want to speak on anything specific, drop it in the comment section. I'm going to go over every single comment in this comment section. So let's get to it. We got Miss Killer. Oh, man. Damn it. That. Damn it. Hold on one second, y'all. I got something I got to fix in here. I got some more technical difficulties going on. Sorry about that. Let me get it right here, man. Sorry about that. Here we go. Fix this real fast here. I should be able to. Damn it. My bad, y'all. My bad. This will only take a second. This will only take a second. All right, let me see here, y'all. Let me see. Let me check on another one. Damn it. All right, I got it, man. These first ones, all right, I got it. I got it fixed, man. Big shout out to everybody for tapping in. I'm sorry for the hold up, y'all. Real talk. Just trying to make sure everything's the way it needs to be here. These first couple comments. Big shout out to Miss Killinois in the building. Miss Killinois. That thing is juice. Good that thing is juice. We got Charles Williams. He says, hey, what's up, big dog? Shout out to everybody tapping in, man. We're going to get to all these comments. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and pull these puppies up right now so you guys ain't got to be just stuck looking at me during this whole live. So here we go. Boom. Here we go, y'all. Here we go. Here they are, man. I'm going to let this play through. It's going to give you guys a sneak little peek at the puppies. Then it's going to show the parents. The first adult you're going to see is going to be the father. The second adult you'll see is going to be the mother. And then we're going to get into tons of footage of the puppies. If you guys got any specific questions on any specific puppy, let it be known in the comment section, man. And I'm going to pull it up here on the ASAP. Where we at? We got Brian Flattery in the building, man. Killinois family. Let me know if that horn's a little too loud for you guys. Let me know in the comment section. Big shout out to Brian Flattery, Killinois family in the building. Dan Libby, we got Killinois Kennels 100% fire. This breeding is a game changer. That's right, man. Big shout out to the homie Dan Libby. Real talk. We got Russell Estevez in the building, man. That's another Killinois family member in the building. It says aloha Killinois family, man. And matter of fact, we're going to be speaking on you know, Russell Estevez and his wife took their female they picked up from us. In that profile picture right there is going to be their female they picked up out of G-Baby and Siri. Took her out to an IBKC show out there in Hawaii and brought home some hardware, man. Big shout out to them. Big shout out to them. We got JH in the building. He says, let's go, Killinois Kennels. Hope to see this live full. Yeah, most definitely, man. Again, if you guys are new in here, make sure you guys hit that like button. And, you know, we're going to shoot for 200 likes again tonight, man. If you guys give us 200 likes, I will give you a small sneak peek at the next Top Dog TV drop. I've been working really, really hard on this video, y'all. And, you know, we're getting there, man. It will be dropping soon, man. And I'll tell you what, it is looking dope. It's looking dope. So again, we get to 200 likes. I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek of some stuff you guys never seen before. And you guys will most definitely want to see this. So make sure y'all hit that like button. We got Red from the bottom in the building, man. Big shout out to the homie Red from the bottom. He says, wish I could get a pup for real, but I just soak up the game until I can. And that's all 100% fine, man. Not everybody in here is going to be buying a puppy. You know what I mean? We appreciate your support. You know, we're going to be in here talking it over, man. And, you know, shout out to the homie Red from the bottom, man. He helps keep these lives entertaining and stuff. Big shout out to him. We got Juan Enos in the building. He says, what's up, Killinois family? Like and subscribe. Love from the Marianas. That's right, man. Big shout out to you for tapping in. We got Antoine Brown in the building, man. That's a Killinois member right there, man. Big shout out to the homie Anton Brown. My bad. We say that's real says hit that like button so we can help get this video in the algorithm. That's right, man. That's exactly what the reason why we tell you guys to hit the like button so much. So it'll get in the algorithm. YouTube will push it out. The more people we get in here, the more the live's going to be entertaining and the longer we'll keep it running, man. So again, hit that like button. That's exactly what he means. Hit that like button, comment on it, share it, all that type of stuff. Matter of fact, there's a new thing on YouTube where it says hype. I don't know if you guys are seeing that. If you guys are seeing that, make sure you hype up all those Killinois videos, including this live right now. I don't know how it goes with the lives, but I would imagine it's on there, and you guys will actually be earning points and stuff like that. So we got Ghost Mode Goddess says, no worries, brother. We're here. Okay, that's right. Appreciate you for tapping in. Guadalupe Chavez says, what's up, bro, from Nampa, Idaho. Okay, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. You know, shout out to you for checking in, man. We got 50 people in the building. Make sure you guys hit that like button if you're new in here. It says, we spoke before. Hopefully I can get in. Yeah, man, get with us and we'll get you taken care of, man. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and get this playing for the background, man. My bad, y'all. Here they are, man. What you guys are looking at right now are the females, and these are some of the boys. There was only 3 females off of this litter, so you literally just seen all 3 females, but we're going to go over tons and tons of footage here tonight for you guys to see them. You know, this is just a quick little beginning of the video type of deal. Russell Estevez says, when my girl gets pregnant, is there a special way to carry her without hurting the puppies? You know, the most safest way is to like pick her up, put your like arm up under her neck, and then rest your other arm, your left arm. Like, so if you got your right arm up under her neck and you got your left arm, kind of cuff her on her butt. You know, don't hold in between the waist, kind of cuff her on her butt. That kind of helps, you know, in that situation. But for the most part, man, you know, you're not going to hurt her from picking her up. You know what I mean? That type of deal. You know, of course, be careful with her, but you're not going to hurt her just picking her up. That type of stuff. It's just like women, man. You know what I mean? Same thing with women. You know, there's women out here doing all types of crazy stuff while they're pregnant. You know, it's a little bit more durable than you would probably think. Big shout out to Russell Estevez, though, man. Again, we're going to be pulling up after we get done talking about the puppies and stuff. We're going to get to talking about, you know, what he accomplished not too long ago, man. For some of you guys that might not have seen it, you know, right now what you guys are looking at is going to be the mother of this litter. Super, super nice girl, you know. That's our girl Glorilla. You know, let me go ahead and skim through this real quick so y'all ain't got a double C Dayton, you dig? That type of deal. So right now, what you guys again is looking at the females, and it's going to be playing through the females for quite some time. And the reason why we put all this footage of the puppies is so you guys get a real good look at them for those of you that are going to be purchasing from far away. You know, I talked to the ground shipper today. For those of you guys that are going to need pups shipped out, he will be here the Monday after the drop, picking up all the puppies and getting them shipped out, man. So, you know, I might have him give us a call. We're either going to go live again either Thursday or Saturday. And let me know in the comments section, should we go live on Thursday or should we go live on Saturday before the drop? Usually we go lives the Saturdays before the drop, you know, just to kind of freshen people up, you know, get everybody hyped up and ready for that next drop. But let us know, or should we go live Thursday and Saturday? Let us know in the comments section. JH says, do we have anyone from other countries? That's right, that's right. We got the homie in here from the Mariana Islands, and I'm sure there's some more people in here as well, man. I'm sure there's some more people in here as well. It's about to get going. Let's go. That's right, that's right, that's right. Again, if y'all are new in here, make sure y'all hit that like button. We're shooting for 200 likes on this video. You know, once we hit 200 likes on the live, I'll give you guys a sneak peek look at the next Top Dog TV drop. And like I said, I've been working on that like crazy, man. Day in and day out for like the past couple days without, you know, doing, you know, pretty much that's about it, man. So it's going to be dope, man. Well, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be one of the dopest bully videos ever made, man. I'm telling you. Martin Garcia says, what's going on, Dayton? Beautiful pups. Appreciate you, big dog. Thanks for tapping in. Thanks for tapping in. Debo says, thought you was keeping a female. I didn't say we wasn't, big dog. Here you go again with that negativity, bro. Here you go again with that negativity. I never said we wasn't keeping a female. Man Jack Bully says, Monster out in the house supporting. That's right, Killinois family in the building. That's Man Jack Bullies located over there in Montserrat in the Caribbean, and you guys can see in his profile picture, that's the two dogs he picked up from us. On the left is a female he picked up out of Busy Bone in Medusa, and on the right is going to be the chocolate male he picked up out of God of War and Glorilla off of her Bulla. God of War and Bulla. That type of deal. Man Jack Bully says, I'm in love with the tri-female. That's right, man. Let us know, Killinois family. Let us know. You're interested in her. She's yours, man. That type of deal. Anthony Adams says, dope pups like always. Appreciate you, big dog. Thanks for letting them know, man. Thanks for letting them know. JH says the horn is on point. What about that boom, man? Let me know about these booms. Is that too quiet? I know that that horn is a little bit louder than the other stuff. That type of deal. Kevin Bass says, what's up? Watching from H-Town. Okay, that's what's up, man. Shout out to H-Town in the building, man. That's one of my favorite places to visit, man. Always have tons of fun out there, and I love the music out there. Real talk. Dan Libby says, let's talk transformation art of picking a pup. Should a pup look bully as a pup? I mean, what's the transformation art of picking a pup? Yeah, man. I mean, there is no art to it, man. There is no art to it. It's really hard making picks off of pups, man. You know what I mean? Because really it's in God's hands. You know what I mean? Sometimes a puppy, you know, at these ages, you know, the way we put the puppies up, we put them up, you know, right here, you're looking at the puppies at 12 weeks old. These puppies are, you know, starting to develop a little bit, but they're starting to stretch out as well. You know what I mean? So, they're starting to stretch out, you know, like all puppies at, you know, 6, 7, 8 weeks old, all look like real nice little fluffy puppies. You know what I mean? But when you're showing them at the ages like this and that, you know, they start to stretch out. You kind of start to see, you know, more of what you're going to be looking at as an adult. But, you know, in certain situations, a dog might look a little leggier in this stage and this and that. You know what I mean? it's really, really hard to make picks off of litters, man. I mean, if you're trying to get into a litter and you're seeing those prices, we're basically making the picks for you. You understand what I'm saying? The prices is going to determine the highest amount of pick. You understand what I'm saying? The higher the pick, the more higher the price is. You know what I mean? That type of deal. So we're basically letting you know exactly, where the puppies stand is, if you pay attention to the prices, that type of stuff. But there is no art to it, man. Sometimes, we make picks and sometimes we're right and sometimes we're wrong. You know what I mean? So it's all luck, man. You might get lucky. I've seen situations where the baddest puppy, ended up to being the baddest puppy. And then I've seen situations where the baddest puppy ended up might not being the baddest puppy. You know what I mean? I've seen ugly ducklings that turn around and end up to being the best dogs off of the litter. You know what I mean? So there is no art to it. We have a lot of experience at picking dogs, and we're right a lot of the times, but sometimes we're not. You understand what I'm saying? Because that is all in God's hands, man. It is a gamble picking a puppy, even for us. You know what I mean? Because of course we spend all the money, making these breedings happen, all that type of stuff. We've spent all the money making the breedings happen and all that. And of course we want to, get the best puppy every single time if we're keeping one and stuff like that. But it doesn't always go that way, man. It is a gamble when you're getting a dog. You might think, oh man, that's the baddest one off the litter, but that might have been an off day when we recorded for that specific dog. The females, again, you guys are looking at the females right now, but that's pretty much it for that, man. I want to move through these comments because I'm hella behind. I want to be able to catch up with you guys, but we might touch back on that here in a little bit, Dan Libby, if you want to. Let it be known. Kevin Bass, is the black and white male sold yet? None of these puppies are for sale yet. We don't work like that, man. We don't work like the rest of these kennels. These puppies ain't laying around because we can't sell them. We just haven't put them up for sale yet. We could have sold these puppies out a month ago before we even showed them. We could have showed them, sold them out strictly off the look of the parents. But every pup you guys see is available off of this litter, and they will be for sale not today, but next Sunday at 4 p.m. Central Time. I highly recommend you go watch those videos and listen to what I say, man, because if you're seriously interested in purchasing a pup off of this litter, you gotta listen to what I say, bro, or you're not gonna get the one that you want. And then you're gonna be pissed off at us and calling us and cussing us out like it's happened a million times before. You understand what I'm saying? You got to listen to everything I state in those videos, Kevin Bass, if you really want to purchase a dog from us, because that's how you get one. And I'm not just on there just running my mouth. Nas says, what's up? Go. Okay, appreciate that, big dog. Appreciate that. Shout out to Nas in the building, man. He's been in here a lot lately. New supporter of the channel. Appreciate you. He said, much love, bro. Appreciate you. Likewise. Rob716 says, they're all fire. That's a Killinois family member right there with 2 of his dogs in his profile picture that he picked up from us. On the left is his boy Nico, and on the right is his girl out of White Folks Jr. and Beautiful. And man, I'm telling you right now, he's got some really nice bulls from us over there, man. Real talk. Shout out to the homie Rob716. RSN Stackjack says, Ohio in the building. Okay, that's what's up, man. Shout out to Ohio in the building. We got 54 people in here. We got 50 likes, but we've had probably about 300 different people in here tonight. Yep, almost 300. If you're new in here, please make sure you guys hit that like button. Once we hit 200 likes, I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek look at Top Dog TV. The next one chunk coming up, and I'm telling you right now, dopest video that we've ever posted on this channel for sure. Dollar Bill says, keep it Killinois Bulls looking good, or looking great. Keep up the good work. Okay, that's what's up, Dollar Bill. Appreciate you, man. Shout out to Dollar Bill, man. He's been in our lives showing a lot of support, all that type of stuff. We got Alan H in the building. He says, what's up? Checking in to support this fine group. That's right, man. Big shout out to our Killinois family member, Alan H in the building, man. That's right. Keanu Burgess says, what's up, Hammers? Don't forget, fam, send those pics. Shout out to Russell Estevez for doing his thing in Hawaii. Hit that like button and share. That's right, man. That's right. Shout out to Keanu Burgess, man. That's another major supporter of the channel, major supporter of the lives. He gets in here, helps keep the conversation rolling and all that. Major shout out to the homie Keanu Burgess. Real talk. Nas says, facts, bro. There is no art to it for real. Yeah, most definitely, man. It's a gamble. It's a gamble picking up any puppy, you know, picking a puppy, all that type of stuff. It's all in God's hands, man. It's all in God's hands. And I'll tell you what, you know, with us, our litters are very, very consistent because we don't have any exotics in our dogs. We're not breeding to any dogs with Miyagi blood, bullseye blood, that type of stuff. We don't have a bunch of different breeds in our dogs. Our dogs are real true American bullies, and our litters are very, very consistent. We've showed you guys multiple times that, you know, our litters, we're not just one of these kennels that end up with one nice puppy. The whole litters is stacked with quality bulls, and we've showed you that. If you really watch our videos, we've showed you that time and time again. That's why it's really, you know, listen to what I'm saying. Pay attention to those videos, you guys. JH says, yeah, that boom is on point. Maybe we could get a tiny bit louder if you wanted. Okay, that's what's up, man. Let me turn up a little bit. That type of deal. It's crazy because that horn gets a little louder than everything. Martin Garcia says that first pick male is going to be a grand champion one day. He's the one. Okay, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. I'll tell you what, man. The boys are insane. You know, as much as you're saying that, you never know. Just like I said, man, you never know. You know, yeah, that's real talk, man. You never know. But of course, you know what I mean? We got them priced accordingly. We try to give you guys the best prices as possible and still, you know, get what we need to get out of them. That type of deal. You know? Nas says, but let's talk about that black tri. Okay, I'm not 100% sure which one you're talking about, man. You know, right here is the prices of the pups that we're looking at right now, you guys. Hold up. Let me run that back a little bit. Okay. So yeah, we got female number one. I can't remember, man. I can't even remember the prices. When I need to look at that with you guys. Ghost Mode Goddess says, yeah, that black tri female is very fine. Man, the black tri girls are insane. They're actually my favorites from the litter, man. And you know, a lot of people got their eye on that fawn girl, and she is tough. But you know, I like the size of those black tri females. I really like the size of them. This is gonna be female number one. We're talking about that's the fawn girl, female number one, going for 4,000. Super, super nice girl. But like I said, I'm more of a fan of the black tris myself. I just feel like this girl's going to be super, super compact. I like a little size in my females. You know what I mean? That type of deal. But there is no slouches, man. Solid, solid girls. And I'll tell you what, you know, this litter, you know, being that we went outside of the yard, we spent some money. We spent a lot of money to make this litter happen. You know, the pups are a little bit more expensive than usual, but you will not find the prices on these type of quality of dogs nowhere in the world. You understand what I'm saying? That type of deal. You know, like I said, we go to bat for you guys. We try to offer you the best prices as possible, but we definitely have to, you know, we got to get some of our money back. You know, like I stated in our last live, you know, the stud fee on this boy is probably, I can't remember exactly what it was. I think it's $5K, something along that. You know, $2,000 C-section, about $1,000 to make the breeding happen, and so on, man. thousands and thousands of dollars to provide you guys a litter of this quality. Thousands and thousands. He says, that right? They don't work like that. Okay, yeah, I got to catch up with you guys. That's some older stuff. Vince Loang says, this litter is going to sell out in record time. All the pups are fire. My favorite is still the Nino Brown look-alike, by the way. Did you drop the Top Dog TV? Top Dog make it out to the Bully Show in Wheaton yesterday? Didn't see you. Man, unfortunately, I didn't, man. We wanted to try to make it out there, but we just had too much stuff going on at home, man. You know, sorry we wasn't out there, Vince. Real talk, man. It would have been nice to catch up with you out there, man. But this is Killinois family right here. Vince is one of our Killinois family members that pops up at all the dog shows up in the Chicago land. And unfortunately, man, we wasn't able to make it, but I'm glad you went out there, bro. Real talk. Real talk. And, you know, see his boy in the profile picture right there. Hold on one second. Let me pause this. His boy in that profile picture right there, that's his boy that is Glorilla's littermate brother. That's Taser. Big shout out to our Killinois family in the building. Real talk. Let's see here. Like and share the video. That's right. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Once we hit 200 likes, we're going to give you guys a sneak peek at the Top Dog TV stuff. And I'm telling you, you guys are going to want to see this stuff. It's dope stuff. It says facts. That's right. That's right. Ghost Mode Goddess says, I call it puppy uglies. Yeah, there, you know, you'll have that sometime. You know, on our previous live, we showed you guys that boy, Nene's boy, out of God of War and Glorilla's last litter. And the footage we had of him really wasn't that great. He didn't look like he was going to be just this crazy. And I'll tell you what, man, this boy is insane. He is a clone of Boomer, of God of War, but he looks like he's going to be even out doing God of War. And that's exactly what we want. You know, we're not one of those weird kennels that doesn't want you guys to have cooler dogs than the dogs you got them from. We are hoping that they outproduce and are doing better. And I'll tell you what, man, that boy that Nene's got is a monster. Super nice boy. Real talk. Now it says Ghost Mode, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm not sure. So I call it the puppy uglies. Yeah, no, I'm thinking Ghost Mode Goddess is talking about when they stretch out and they're starting to stretch out, that type of thing. That's what she meant. She's not calling our puppies ugly, bro. That's not what she meant. RSN Stackjack says, I like what y'all got going on, brother. I follow y'all on IG. Okay, that's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. Our main platform is YouTube here. And that's the real best way to follow us, man. But, you know, we appreciate people that follow us on all social medias, you know. Glad you got away from Instagram and came over here and tapped into the live. Real talk. Dan Libby says, love learning knowledge from the GOAT of bullies. Appreciate you, Dan Libby. Like I said, man, run that past me once we get through these puppies and that type of stuff. Once I catch up with these questions, that type of deal. And, you know, we'll tap more into that topic, man. RSN Stackjack says, these are good questions. I'm new, looking into getting in the game within the next year. Yeah, most definitely, man. I mean, you know, you got any questions, drop it in the comment section and we're going to get to it, my boy. You know, I try to answer everything I can to my best of my knowledge, man. And if I don't know an answer to what you're asking me, I'll be the first to tell you, bro, because I'm not one of these guys that get on here and just act like I know what I'm talking about. You know, that type of deal. Keith Tinley says, good looking dogs, Dayton, you do it right, and you've always done it right. I remember over 20 years ago, Killinois Kennels producing the best beast mode dogs. Congrats on staying on top. That's right, man. Shout out to the homie Keith Tinsley, man. Real talk. Appreciate you tapping in, bro. Real talk, Keith. Good seeing you in here, my boy, and thanks for letting them know, man. Real talk. Carmelo says, Carmelo in the house with Ringo, son of Detox and Valkyrie. That's right. Killinois family in the building, man. Killinois family in the building. Yeah, that's going to be his son out of Detox and Valkyrie in that picture right there, Carmelo. I believe he's out there in Florida, if I'm not mistaken. We got another Killinois family member in the building, Donez Baxton says, another fire litter. Can't wait to see the Top Dog TV video. Most definitely. It's coming soon, big dog. Coming soon. Pop Tired in the building, man. Pop Tired in the building. He says, Killa, keep up the good work, bro. Appreciate you, Pop Tired. Shout out to Pop Tired in the building. That's my homie right there. Real talk. Country Boy Troy says that blackmail you showed last time is an eye catcher. They're all fire, though. Keep producing. That's right. Appreciate you, big dog. Appreciate you. Let me go ahead and get that playing in the background, man. I'm just trying to catch up with these comments real quick. You know, these are all the boys you guys are looking at right here. Nothing but solid males, man. Real talk. Tone says, go ahead and start the meeting. I'm here now. That's right, man. Killinois family in the building. That's Tone. Killinois family in the building. Tone says that black boy is my second choice in the males, Vince. Okay, that's right. A lot of people are loving that black boy, man. A lot of people. RSN Stack Jazz says, I subbed on here too. I just made my YouTube recently. Okay, that's right, man. Appreciate you. Real talk. Appreciate all the support from all of our Killinois supporters, the Killinois family members, all y'all, man. Real talk. Looks like I'm catching up, though. Says, come on and hit that like button so we can see the Top Dog TV clip. That's right. Again, at 200 likes, we're going to show you guys a little sneak peek look at the Top Dog TV stuff. I've caught all the way up to the comments, you guys. So if you ask us a question or you drop anything right now, I'll be able to answer it on the fly real quick. You know, a lot of those comments were kind of behind and it wasn't matching up with the things that was being talked about. That type of stuff. But yeah, drop your guys' questions about the puppies in the comment section now, man, and we'll get to them. Real talk. You know? Andrew says, fire litter once again, family. Y'all keep doing y'all thing and setting the standard. That's right, man. Appreciate you, bro. Thanks for letting them know. Real talk. Keanu Burgess says, is there a different style of ear cropping? If so, how do you make a decision on the style that would best fit the pups? We like a short show crop, you know, not too long, you know, not too short. That's what we like. You know, that's what I recommend people ask for, a short show crop. You know what I mean? You know, you don't want to go just like too crazy short or anything like that. You know, I feel like, you know, the vets we use is some of the best in the game, man. The ears are always on point, you know, always staying in a tent, that type of stuff, man. You know, and that's why we get them done before we put them up for sale. It saves our Killinois family members from having to deal with it, that type of stuff. And, you know, it's part of the breed, man. These dogs should have an ear crop, you know what I mean? And we don't, you know, nobody does it to be mean to them. You know what I mean? Those puppies, you know, after a couple hours after they wake up, man, they're right back to normal. That stuff doesn't bother them and that type of stuff. And we don't do it like that. We do it like that because it's part of the breed standard, man. I mean, it's not a must, but it is preferred. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why we do it. We understand the ear crops. You know, if we sold all these puppies without ears done, I would say probably 20% of the litter would get them done. You understand what I'm saying? But almost 95% of the people that bought them would want them done. But in certain areas, it's just super expensive to get them done. And, you know, it's a lot of trouble. You guys don't have to go through that trouble when you're dealing with us. That's why sometimes the puppies are a little bit older than what you would normally get. But like I've mentioned 100 times before, the fact that we are showing you guys these puppies at this age and putting them up for sale at this age is benefiting you way more than it's hurting you, okay? And I don't care what nobody says. You guys get a real good look once the puppy starts to stretch out. You get an overall look at these pups, and that way we can price them accurately and give you everything that you're paying for. That type of deal. Rob says that black one will be scary in the dark. Yeah, most definitely, man. Most definitely. And I'll tell you what, he's starting to stretch out a little bit. You know, he looks a little leggy right here, but I'm telling you, man, that's going to be a badass boy. But they're all going to be nice, man. They're all going to be super nice, man. We are very, very pleased with this litter. And, you know, I wish we could keep them all, for real, for real. RSN says, he says, welcome to the bully world. Okay, that's right, that's right, that's right. That's right. Says, thank you. Says, I kind of like keeping the ears. Will this hold me back at shows? That's what I'm trying to say, man. I mean, you know, it's not supposed to, but if you got, say you got a dog with ears, okay, and maybe the ears don't sit perfect, then it will. You understand what I'm saying? And there's no way to tell if those ears are going to sit perfect until it becomes an adult. But in the show ring, say you got the world's, you know, say you got two dogs that are just physically matched up identical. You understand what I'm saying? They both got the same strengths and same faults. You understand what I'm saying? But one has an ear crop and the other one doesn't. 9 times out of 10, that judge, just on preference, is going to pick the one with the ear crop. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't do it. You know, we understand some people like, well, I like the floppy ears and stuff like that, man. And I'm telling you right now, like, you know, a lot of these dogs, these are American bullies. You know what I mean? And a lot of these dogs, if they had ears, they would look goofy as hell. You understand what I'm saying? And then not only that, you know what I mean? You could actually be confused. You know, like one of these dogs with good ears is going to look like a bulldog. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? In certain situations and stuff. You know, we might try to offer some situations that people are just like, I don't even want one if it's got those ears, which is weird as hell to me. But you don't have to put it through anything. You don't have to deal with it. We're dealing with it. And like I said, that's why we do it, is because we understand that a lot of people, they might have all intentions of, I'm going to buy this puppy with its ears not done, and I'm going to get it, and I'm going to go get its ears done. A lot of people have those intentions when they buy dogs, but a lot of them end up calling around, and this vet wants 500, this vet wants 700, you know, this vet, you know, and somebody tried to argue with me and say the prices aren't that much, and they most definitely are. We sell dogs all over the world. We hear what these people are hearing about ear crops and things like that. Some places are expensive as hell. You know what I mean? And some people will just say, oh man, they want 700 to do that. I'm not going to get the ears done. And then they got a dog with floppy ears and it might look goofy, and, you know, and then that type of deal, man. I mean, you know, like with us, man, we literally pay for it and do it, get it done for you. You understand what I'm saying? You guys don't have to worry about that type of stuff. I wouldn't trip, you know, I wouldn't trip, you know what I mean? That type of deal. I wouldn't trip. These dogs look way better with the ear croppies, you guys. Way better. Nas says, no problem. I'm going to subscribe to you now. Damn, Nas, you ain't subscribed, my boy. What the hell? What the hell, my boy? Man, make sure you subscribe, big dog. I'm just messing with you. But yeah, most definitely subscribe, my boy. Tone says, I've always preferred the crop look. And the majority of people do. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you, if we was to sell a litter without ear crops, there would be all these people, oh, I want one without an ear crop. I want one without an ear crop. That type of deal. And then when they get to go up for sale, people are going to be nowhere to be found. And then we did all that for nothing. You understand what I'm saying? That type of stuff. You know, we've had people say, you know, no, I'm serious. I want one and I'll do it, you know, that type of deal. But I'm telling you guys, man, it's way better for them to get done, you guys. We wouldn't be doing this if it was like a animal cruelty situation. We wouldn't be doing no things, you know, nothing like that, man. You know what I mean? We're not one of those guys that do backyard ears crops. Look at these ears, man. You could tell these are done at a vet. They're nearly perfect. You understand what I'm saying? They're not nearly perfect. They are perfect. And they ain't even fully all the way healed yet in this situation neither. And look at them. All real consistent look. All that type of stuff, you guys. Real talk. But we're shooting for 200 likes in here in the live tonight, you guys. If you're new in here and you haven't hit the like button, make sure you guys hit the like button and share out the live to your social medias. Once we hit 200 likes, I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek look at the new Top Dog TV drop. That type of deal. Real talk. Whoever just hit that like button, shout out to you. Real talk. I seen that. I seen that. Red from the bottom says pups are fire, good structure, and pretty colors. Best of both worlds. That's right. That's right. That's right. Shout out to Red from the bottom, man. Keanu Burgess says, thanks for the info on the cropping. Yeah, no problem, big dog. No problem. Nas says, RSN, what's your channel name? It's gonna be that name right there. That's you know, his name on here should be his channel name. Battle crops good for show ring or different crops, doesn't matter. No, battle crops are not good for the show ring. And no, you know, if they're not good for the show ring, man, that's going to actually hurt you a little bit. That type of deal. You know, I would go with a nice short show crop. You know, that's kind of in between. That's what our ears are. They're like in between a show crop and in between a battle crop. A nice short little Dorito on top. You understand what I'm saying? That type of deal. But yeah, if you care about hitting the shows and stuff like that, you don't want to put a battle crop on an American Bully, man. Like, you're not going to be, you know, if you know anything about rolling dogs and stuff like that, man, these ain't the dogs to do that with. You know what I mean? And why else would you want a battle crop? Because it just looks ugly as hell. You know what I mean? You should want them to look like this. That type of deal. It's just a better look. Nas says mine is okay. Okay. Martin Garcia says, I would love to use one of your studs in the future. I'm not a kennel, but I would love to have a litter or two for my female. She's in my profile picture. Super nice girl, bro. If you want to use a stud, most definitely hit us up. We'll get you right, and we'll also help you promote it. You know what I mean? Once the litters are dropped, you know, anybody that uses our studs, we most definitely help them out promoting their litters and stuff like that. So, you know, I think we could do something really nice with that girl, man. So get with us and we'll get you right. Kit Kat's mom says, definitely appreciate you sharing your knowledge. If anyone has the answers, it'd be you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Kit Kat's mom. Thanks for tapping in, you know. I don't know it all, but I know a little bit, little something, something. You know what I mean? That type of deal. Santro Cole says, I like the black one. How much is he going for? He's going for 4,000. He's going for 4,000 plus shipping, if need be. Paul Cruz says, what size you estimate they be getting? Man, it's really hard to say, for real, man. Both of these parents are pocket bullies. You know, so I would imagine majority of them's going to be pocket. That black boy might be on the borderline of standard. But you know, this boy right here, this is my personal favorite out of all the males, and he's the best price. He's going for 3,500. This boy to me is like the most well-balanced dog together. You know what I mean? He doesn't got the biggest and the baddest of anything, but he's got a little bit of everything. You understand what I'm saying? And that's how I like to make my picks. You understand what I'm saying? that type of stuff. I like to find the most well-balanced dog. But, but that doesn't take anything away from the other puppies. But personally, he's my favorite. I like his head shape. I like his bone, his chest spread, his all that, man. Super nice boy. Super nice boy. Tone says crop with the bell. That's right. That's right. That's right. RSN Stack says, I love your guys' croppings. Definitely can tell professionally done. I'm not against it at all. That's right. That's right, man. That's right. We're going to go ahead and run it back on this footage real quick. Go ahead and run it back, man. If you guys want me to poll up anything else specific, let it be known in the comment section. I'm going to run it back to the females. Try to hide these text messages so you guys can get a real good look at them. I mean, I'll show it, but I'm not going to leave it up for the whole time we're talking on it. Luis says, how do you price a puppy that is nice all the way around but has a kink tail? Yeah, man, I mean, you can't really, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It depends on what you got, bro. Honestly, it depends on what you got. If you got exotics, that's part of the breed standard. You know what I mean? That type of deal. Us at Killinois Kennels, we always offer the kink tails at a pet quality price. You know what I mean? Kink tails are going to be looking at, anywhere from about $1,500 to at the most $2,500 or something. It just really just depends, man. It depends. A lot of times when you're dealing with real true American bullies, a lot of times, your kink tail dog is going to be one of the coolest dogs off the litter. You understand what I'm saying? When you're dealing with real true American bullies, they just always got that real blocked up head and that type of stuff. But, in the American Bully, a kink tail is a pet quality dog. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying, I'm talking about as far as the show ring goes and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, as far as pricings on a kink, and what's crazy, man, is a lot of time, when we were first started dealing with some of these newer bloods and stuff like that, we would accidentally get a litter with, a few kink tails off of it and stuff like that. But I ain't heard nobody say anything about kink tails for a really long time, man. That's because we've been learning how to work these bloods, that type of stuff. You know what I mean? And for those of you guys that pay attention, let them know if I'm lying or not in the comment section. Once we were using some of the newer dogs and newer bloods, stepping outside of the yard and stuff like that, we were running into some issues where we might have had a litter with about 3 or 4 kinks in it in one litter and stuff like that. And they're just like, people are just like, oh my God, you're going to have kink tails when breeding American bullies. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But it's been a really long time since we've had one in these litters, you guys. And you guys need to recognize that for real, for real. That's because we know what we're doing over here. We ain't one of these backyard, scientists, let's figure it out breeders, man. We learn quick and we get it together. And, the proof is on the channel. Real talk. Courtney Boy Troy says, got you. I just seen photos if that's why I asked. Good info, though. Okay, that's what's up, man. I'm not sure. I think I might have lost your comment from there. I don't know what you're talking about in that situation, but for sure, for sure. Russell Estevez, listen to Dayton on how to pick a dog. Yeah, I mean, they're you know what I mean? Like for the most part, with our litters, it's just going to be your personal preference. You know what I mean? Me, I don't care what color dogs are. I don't care what color it is. I'm going off of strictly, when I pick a dog for myself, I'm going off of the overall look of the dog. I don't care if it's a pink dog. I don't care if it's a purple dog. I don't care if it's a green dog. You know what I mean? Our breedings over here and the way we get down over here at Killinois Kennels, color is just it's just a plus. You know what I mean? That type of deal. We'll never, like I, mentioned before 100 times, you want an old Dodge Neon that has a flip-flop extreme paint job, or do you want a, Hellcat Charger that is black? You understand what I'm saying? You're going to take the Hellcat Charger that's black, not the flip-flop painted neon. And that's the way you should think about these dogs. You know what I mean? Don't let colors play such a role in this stuff. You know what I mean? If we were color chasers, we'd have merles. We'd have all this other BS. We don't deal with that type of stuff, man. We don't deal with merles. We don't deal with exotics. We don't deal with exotics that call themselves American bullies. We don't deal with none of that type of stuff, man. And like I said, color is just secondary with what we got going on. You know what I mean? That type of deal. Lola's mom says, "This is our girl, Luscious Lola, aka Lola, formerly Kit Kat's mom. Your pups are fire." Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Oh, damn. I'm over here shutting the lights off. So Lola's so you changed your name, Lola's mom, to Kit Kat's mom? You change. This is our girl, Luscious Lolita, aka Lola, formerly Kit Kat's mom. Okay, so Kit Kat's mom, you are now Lola's mom. Okay, I get it. I get it. Okay, shout out to the homie DJ Fab. DJ Fab in the building, man. He's going to be actually working on some stuff for us for our videos, stuff to bring in on the live. I highly recommend, for any of you guys, especially the guys that are in Houston, you guys are interested in like DJ Screw and Houston music, stuff like that, man. The homie Fab is, he gets down like DJ Screw. He puts together some dope stuff. He's got some dope stuff on his channel, man. I highly recommend you guys go tap in with him and check it out. Shout out to the homie Fab. He says, shout out Killinois. That's right. That's right. Lola's mom said I did. Okay, that's right. That's right. Red from the bottom says, speaking of Merle, what's your take on that? To me, we're not, for us over here at Killinois Kennels, we will never breed to a Merle dog. We will never breed. We don't, like, we're not into that type of stuff, man. For anybody that really knows dogs, colors like that don't magically appear in a dog. It just doesn't happen. You understand what I'm saying? Something else weird was brought into those dogs to make that happen. Okay. And the reason why we don't do stuff like that is because it waters your blood down if you don't tap in. If you have never tapped into that stuff and we go and tap into a Merle, it's going to water our blood down and we're going to not have the consistency that we have over here. And that's the reason why we don't do it. We're not just some big haters. You know what I mean? We use the biggest and baddest dogs all over the country, all over the world. It's not that we can't afford a Merle because they're basically giving them joints away nowadays. The thing about the Merles is, if you notice, none of the Merles really look like, let me get this playing for you guys. I'm sorry about that. None of the Merles really look like, they're not just like badass American bullies. You know what I mean? Don't get me twisted. There is some nice Merles out there, okay? And you're going to see that in some Top Dog TVs where I'm actually showing them guys a little bit of love. But we'll still never go breed to it. Even, like I said, there are some nice ones out there, but majority of them are not nice. Majority of Merles they lack bone. They lack bone. They lack head. They got real long muzzles. They're super tall and long and leggy, and we don't want no part of that. You know what I mean? We worked really hard to get the consistency that we do on our dogs, man. We worked really hard to get here, And we're not going to mess that up trying to tap into the new stuff. You know what I mean? I've seen breeders here on YouTube sit here and go against Merles forever, right? Sit here and talk crap about Merles forever. And then out of nowhere, oh, it's okay to have a Merle. And, we're doing it for monetary gains and stuff like that, that type of stuff, man. We're not going to flip flop on those type of situations. We're not into Merles. It isn't no hate against the Merles. Y'all do y'all's thing. We don't care what other people do with their dogs. Y'all do you, we're going to do us. But we will never breed to a Merle. We will never breed to an exotic. We will never breed to any of these questionable bloods out here. And that's because we are trying to stay stuck with the consistency that we have. It is no hate. People think, oh, they're just haters and that type of stuff. It ain't got nothing to do with hate, man. We're not trying to ruin our blood. We're not trying to ruin our dogs. We're not trying to ruin the puppies we provide for our customers. Things like that. You know what I mean? But, that's about it on it, bro. We're not fans of them. We'll never use them. You will never see them. A Killinois dog, that we bred have a Merle in it. You'll never see that. DJ Feb says, that's right. That's right, my boy. That's right. That's right. JH says 81, only 81 likes, guys. Please hit that like button. That's right. That's right. That's right, man. That's right. Hit that like button, you guys. Once we hit 200 likes, we're going to give you guys a sneak peek look at the next Top Dog TV drop. We're not doing that good in here tonight, though. We already been in here for an hour. We got 81 likes. Let's get this up to 100 real quick, y'all. Hit that like button. Press the X on the live chat. Press the X out. Hit the like button and join the chat back. It's that easy if you're on your phone. Red from the bottom says, I agree. Merle also a disqualifying coat color, too, if I'm not mistaken. I think Merle in the bully game is equal to a Fluffy in the Frenchies. Most definitely, Red. That's exactly what it is. But, there actually are being, accepted now. They're being accepted now in the ABKC. The BRC has always accepted them. And I'm not against registries allowing them to have a platform because they're here and they're not going away. Give them guys a home, but I'm not going to tap into it. We're not going to tap into it. And that's just what it is, man. It ain't no hate. It ain't no hate. It's just facts. I don't like the Merles. The only thing I think Merle is okay in is the English Bulldogs. But I've seen some Merle Frenchies that are just hideous. They are disgusting looking. I'm talking about, man, if I paid $5,000 for one of those dogs and it turned out like that, dude, I'd pay somebody to take it away from me. That's how ugly they are. You understand what I'm saying? They don't have the breed type of a Frenchie. They don't look like a Frenchie. They look like a science project. You understand what I'm saying? And when it comes to other breeds, we don't do a bunch of different breeds over here at Killinois Kennels, but I like more of the traditional breeds when it comes to English Bulldogs. I like a traditional English Bulldog. When it comes to French Bulldogs, I like a traditional Frenchie, that type of stuff, that type of stuff. RSN Stackjack says, is it because of the predictability of the Merles? I don't know what you mean by that. You know what I mean? I literally, basically broke it down. You know what I mean? We don't use them because we're not trying to water down our blood with trash blood. You understand what I'm saying? And even the cool ones, like I said, I'm not saying there's no such thing as a cool Merles, because as of recent, I've been seeing a few here and there. But I want to see their litter mates. I want to see what those other ones look like. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times that's where you're going to know that stuff ain't producing. You're gonna see one cool one come off of it, and the rest are just trash. You know what I mean? But there's also people that I've seen that have been building some consistency. But you know, that's gonna be because of years and years. If you go back, you know, 5, almost 10 years ago, and you see where the Merles got introduced to the American Bullies like crazy, you can see those dogs, man. I'm talking about long, lazy, pencil leg, no bone, long face. All that type of stuff is the reason why we don't put them in our stuff. You know what I mean? The American Bully is a set breed already. There should be no reason you're adding any other breeds into it. You know what I mean? And to get a Merle, it came from another breed. There is no if, ands, or buts about it. To get the Merle gene into an American Bully, you had to mix breed a dog. And there is no if, ands, or buts about it. They did not just magically pop up into an American Bully. It doesn't happen. You know what I mean? And that's why we don't use them, because we want real, true American Bullies. Scorpion Pitbull says, "What's up? What's up, big dog? Thanks for tapping in." Pete C says, "That's Killinois family, man. That's Killinois family right there. That's going to be his boy he picked up out of Big Business and Fendi. He's got the litter mate to Busy Bone. That's his boy Pua. He says, this skate park brings back memories. Saw one of the baddest litters ever, God of War and Elsa." That's right. That's right, PC. That's right. PC pays attention and he's tapped in. And as a Killinois family member, you know, you already know. But that's exactly why we went back here, man. We said, you know what? Let's go back to the skate park. You know, we had been recording in our studio for so long. You know, I was like, man, let's switch it up on this one. Let's head back out to the skate park. But because here soon, we ain't going to have no choice but to record in our studio. And the reason why we record the puppies in the studio so much is because we got it, you know, we got it ready. We got it heated for the winters and we got it cooled off for the summers. You know, here where we're at in Illinois, we got some of the worst weather no matter what season it is. When it's hot, we got the hottest. You know, I'm not saying we got the hottest in the United States, but it's hot. You understand what I'm saying? Really, really hot. Really, really humid. And in the winter, we got the worst winters. So our studio, when you guys see us in that studio with the green grass and the wooden walls and stuff, we got that. So we're not waiting on good weather to record these dogs for you guys. And you know, we learned the hard way, you know, ending up with old puppies trying to wait for the best weather to do it. You know what I mean? In the wintertime, when it's just freezing cold, if we took those puppies outside and recorded them, you know, it'd be looking like we were beating those puppies, because they would just be out there doing one of this, and they would look like one of those in the eyes of an angel videos. You understand what I'm saying? That type of deal. They'll look like they've been abused, and literally they're just out there cold, shivering. You know what I mean? So we got a studio that has heat in it, and it also has air in it, and we can control the temperature and make sure it's nice and comfortable for the puppies. That way, no matter what the weather is, we can get that done for you guys. You know, whenever we recorded this puppies, it was almost too hot for us to do it. Because after the puppies are running around on the concrete for a while, as you can see, they're getting a little warm here. You know what I mean? But you know, we're gonna try to, you know, do this as much as we possibly can. We're gonna try to do it, like, you know, like get out in some older areas that we used to record in a lot, that type of stuff. But once this weather hits, we'll be right back stuck into the studio in the green stuff. And if you guys see us in the green stuff, you'll know that the weather's not permitted us to do anything different. Rob716 says, Nico's focus on this live is crazy. He sits here and watches the whole time. That's right, man. That's right. Man, man, I wish I had that picture on my computer, man. You know, for you Killinois family members that you guys got dogs watching the lives, try to get a shot of them and send it out to us, man, and we'll show you guys what's up, man. I'm gonna see if I can pull this up real quick. Man, I got so many different phones here. I don't even know what phone it's on. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to pull it, but yeah, for sure, man. Rob716 probably sent me 100 different pictures of all of his dogs sitting there watching the live when we're on live, man. And shout out to our Killinois Productions. Shout out to our grandchildren out there, man. Shout out to Nico. Shout out to Nico. Real talk. Here in a second, we'll pull up Nico for you guys. That way you guys can see him, man. Real talk. Badass boy, Nico, man. Real talk. That's a dog that I'm thinking about tapping into, Rob. Real talk. Lola's mom says, found out our girl has a heart murmur so they wouldn't clip her ears. Yeah, most definitely. You know, most definitely. If your dog's got a heart murmur, you definitely don't want to get it done, for sure. You know, it's a risk. It's a risk doing it like that because the dog could actually pass away. Vince Lang says, man, I don't hope I ain't murdering that for you, Vince. Vince says Killinois Kennels does ear cropping to perfection. We get them done to perfection, you know. Let's not confuse people because we don't do them by no means. We ain't got enough kahunas to do something like that. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. But yeah, we got some vets that are the best in the business, for sure, for sure. JH says, shout out to Nico. That's right, that's right, that's right. We got 93 likes in the building, man. I'm gonna go ahead and I gotta use the restroom real quick, you guys. I'm gonna pull this up so you guys can look at this. Give me about 2 minutes. I just got to use the restroom real quick. I've been sitting here pounding down this water, that type of stuff. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to let this video play, and I'm going to let you guys listen to it while I use the restroom real quick. I'm going to start right off at the males. Here we go. Let me pull that up for y'all. I got to use the restroom. I'll be back in like 2 minutes, y'all. Hit that like button, man. Let's get that 200 likes. I want to show you all this Top Dog TV stuff, but I will not show it unless we hit those 200 likes. So make sure you guys hit that like button. You know, that's the way to try to get the likes up. The only reason I want you guys to hit the like button is so we can get more people in here and keep the live going. That type of deal. But go ahead and check this video out while I use the restroom. I will be right back, man. Stay in here, y'all. Stay in here. Where we at? In this video, you're going to only see 4 of the males. The runt fawn male you guys seen in the previous video, that boy ended up being pet quality, and we just went ahead and placed him out and got him in a home already. But you will see the rest of the litter, all 4 boys looking super, super nice. And again, I'm not gonna speak in this video too much on specific puppies. We'll be going live this coming Monday at 6 p.m. Central Time. You know, we'll answer all your guys' questions, but now I'm gonna go ahead and get back into how you guys get one of these puppies. So again, at 4 p.m. Central Time, we'll start answering the phones. Make sure you guys are calling from every single phone in your household. And do not stop calling until you get an answer. Once we answer the phone, we'll let you know which puppies are available, which puppies are pending, and which puppies are sold. And if the puppy you want is available, we can go ahead and go through with the purchase. The only forms of payment we take on that day is gonna be Cash App and Zelle. If you're new to those platforms, you might need both. If you already have those platforms and you use them a lot, you might only need one. But when you're new to Cash App or Zelle, there are limits. You know, you might have 1,000 on Zelle, you might have like 1,500, 2,500 on Cash App. So if that happens, you know, and you're shooting for a dog that's $4,000 or $5,000, you're gonna need both platforms, and you might need to be able to use somebody else's. Just for a heads up, you can use other family members' Cash Apps and Zelles, but one thing that has to be done is this dog has to be paid for in full before we lock you all the way in. You know, we'll give you a good 15 to 20 minutes to get the dog paid for all the way, and then if not, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next customer. And the reason why we do it that way is because we do not want to tie up everybody's Sundays. We want to get these puppies sold, get all your guys' information, and then that way I can go ahead and get it to the ground shipper, and we can start working on how all you guys are going to receive these pups. So say you call in, you're the lucky caller, we get you on the phone. Once we get you on the phone, we have a fourth number, like I said before, that we'll give you a call from. We'll send you all the Cash App and all the Zelle information for you to get it paid. And once you get it paid, we'll go ahead and lock you in. After that, we're gonna hang up with you, and we're gonna pick up all the other calls until we get all the puppies sold. Once all the puppies are sold, we'll give you a call back, and we'll get all your information, whether you're gonna come pick it up or have it shipped out or whatever you wanna do. You know, for those of you that are gonna go with shipping, we do have a ground shipper that's gonna show up that very next day on Monday to pick up all the puppies and have them shipped out to their new homes. You know, you can either get it shipped out, and we got one of the best shippers in the game, best prices you can find, and you can see. Sorry about that, man. I'll be drinking so much water, so I'm not sitting here foaming at the mouth while I'm talking to y'all. That type of stuff. Man, we had 99 likes, man. We can't get that 100. Come on, y'all. Where y'all at? That type of deal. Damn, man, it looks like Father King says, what's going on, Killinois Kennels? What's up, big dog? Shout out to Father King's in the building, man. Shout out to Father King in the building. Another major, you know, we've been tapping in the lives, trying to help keep things going, man. Where's my people at that like keeping the video, you know, like keeping the live going, that type of stuff, man. Drop them comments, get them questions in there. I'm gonna get over all of them. Ryan Backman says, I love your dogs, thick. Appreciate that, big dog. Appreciate that. Sancho Cole says, hey, Dayton, I've been trying to get a puppy so I can bring him up here to Camden, New Jersey. Man, you know, the puppies go on sale next Sunday, bro. Get with us and we'll get you taken care of, bro. You know, right now what you guys are looking at is the boys. You guys have been looking at the boys, that type of stuff. Once this stuff plays through, we're going to go ahead and get into something different. So get your guys' questions in on the puppies ASAP. Says the males was freaky. That's right. That's right. JH says, we are just about halfway to 200 likes, guys. Let's go. Hit that like button. That's right. That's right. Red from the bottom says, would love to see a live of the pups being sold, Dayton. Don't even got to pay attention to the comments. Bro, that's the thing, man. Like I've stated a million times, you know, we keep it professional over here, bro. We are super, super professional. But during those drops, it gets a little rated R over here during those drops, because not only is it hectic for our customers, but it is super hectic for us. That type of deal. And the way I got stuff set up over here, that type of stuff, it's just, you know, here soon we might do that, bro. Here soon we might do that. But for the most part, I'm not trying to see, I don't want y'all seeing us ready to choke each other. You understand what I'm saying? That type of stuff. Sometimes things go sour, you know, it's just a lot, man. It's a lot, and we're not trying to have people thinking we're crazy over here. You understand what I'm saying? That type of stuff. I mean, but whether we do it live or we make a video on it, I am going to work on trying to do that here soon, man. I am going to work on an update, all that type of stuff, at the very least, a update video, because then I can kind of chop out some of the cussing and stuff like that, because I'm telling you, man, this isn't for fake, you guys. Look at this stuff. Look at this. You see that? That's 4 phones, bro. 4 phones, and these are just mine. These are just mine for the drops. I have 1 phone that I use on the daily. These other 3 phones are literally just for the drops. You guys can see it here. That type of stuff. These phones go crazy. We've been in situations where, we forgot about stuff. We've been in situations where we're getting customers mixed up. We've been in situations where we're arguing with customers on the phone because they're playing games with us, that type of stuff. So, here soon we'll try to do at least an updated video on it. And then you never know, we might do a live one time, that type of stuff. That way you guys can really see it live. But, it's going to be one of those situations where, it's probably, and the way I got my studio set up here, and things like that, you're not going to really be able to hear everybody, that type of stuff, because these drops, I couldn't do one of these drops by myself. We got to have 3 to 4 people here every time we do one of these drops, that type of stuff. But we'll most definitely try to get an updated video at the very least for you guys. Andrew Andrew says, fire litter once again, family. Y'all keep doing y'all thing and setting the standard. Appreciate that, big dog. Appreciate that. Keanu Burgess says, is there a different style of ear cropping? If so, do you make a decision on the style to choose that would best fit the pups? We just, like I stated before, Keanu Burgess, we just do a short show crop. That's what we want, is a short show crop. And, it's, our ear crops are very, very consistent on the puppies. They always look the same, man. They always look the same. Rob716 says that black one. Oh, man, why is it showing the questions twice? Thank you, Nam. Man, for some reason, it put all these questions in here twice. Drop the bill short. Oh, man, we got the old white lady in the building, man. That's our Killinois family member, Wendy, right there, man. She says, good evening, Dayton, awesome pups. The old lady is done for the day. Ta-ta. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Wendy. You probably already got up out of here, but big shout out to the old white lady, man. That's one of my favorite Killinois family members right there. Big shout out to Wendy. Real talk. Dayton, I've been trying to get... Okay, yeah. We're just about halfway there, twin. Would love to see. Did you have to? Look at this fool. This fool. He says, did you have to booty? Come on, read this out loud. Yeah. Nah, bro. Nah, it just took me a little second, man. It took me a little second. Gary Gardner says, the one with the white head is real nice, man. Appreciate you, big dog. Appreciate you. Real talk. Count 3630 says, love that black puppy. Appreciate you. Shout out to Count 3630, man. Shout out to the homie, man. He's been supporting for a very long time. We rock with you, bro. Red from the bottom says, on that $1,000 advertisement thing, do you do payment plans like $500 this week, $500 next week? Not usually, man. Not usually. But if you're interested, let me know. Red from the bottom. You know, you've been in here rocking out with us, and I can see if I can work with you. But it's gonna have to happen here fast, bro, because that video will be coming out here really soon. Real talk. And I'm telling you right now, that video is gonna go insane, man. That video is gonna go insane. You know what Red from the bottom's talking about is we got some sponsorships spots available for our next Top Dog TV drop. We're gonna be offering a few spots for $1,000, and any of you guys that have your own kennels in here, have your own puppies, have your own business, whatever you're trying to do, whatever you got going on, you know, this video is gonna go crazy. It's a good idea. It's a good chance for you to get thousands and thousands and thousands of people eyes on your business, whatever you got going on. You know what I mean? And it's just the facts, man. It's just the facts. You know, if you guys haven't seen that video, matter of fact, you know, I'm not gonna make y'all watch that. I'm not gonna make y'all watch that, but I highly recommend you guys go to our channel and check out that video where I said being on our channel changed this guy's life, because it really did. That isn't a clickbait title. That's real talk. He had a whole litter of 11 puppies that were 6 months old, and he couldn't sell not one of them on his own. We put them on his channel, put them on our channel. He sold out a whole litter of pups within less than a week time. And if that ain't worth $1,000, I don't know what is. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, us at Killinois Kennels, man, we paid $5,000 for something similar to this years back. Years back. We paid $5,000 for something like this that didn't do near the views that we're going to be bringing to the table. You understand what I'm saying? And we paid $5K for that. You know, for any of you guys that are out here trying to be breeders and trying to get known, this is a good way for you to get that done. That type of deal. Russell Kanani Estevez says, not sure if you mentioned it, but how old are the puppies? The puppies are 12 weeks old in this video. You know, this video's been up. They're probably about 13 and a half weeks old right now. So, but in this footage, they are 12 weeks old. Ryan Backman says, I'm going to be honest here. I think I like your dogs more than the new stuff. They look razor's edge versus the new, more English traits, which American Staffordshire Terriers with American Pit Bull Terriers. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I mean, you know, we, you know, a lot of that has to do with because we're not putting exotics in our dogs, man. You know, I would say there's a good 95% of the bully community is mixing their dogs with exotics now. They're American bullies and stuff. And I guess apparently it's okay and things like that, man, which I'm not a fan of that. You know what I mean? We have real true American bullies. Even when we use someone else's stud, we go thoroughly through the pedigree. I'm talking about 15 generations back to make sure that there's no exotics or any of that type of stuff. You know what I mean? And that's why, you know, some people will compare our puppies to like somebody that's got a half-ass exotic and things like that. And you know what I mean? Like, yeah, our dogs ain't gonna look like that because we're not mixed breeding our dogs and crazy stuff like that. But don't get it twisted, man. I mean, for the way we breed, we get amazing features. We get good heads, all that type of stuff. But you know, that's how we get down over here. That type of deal, Ryan. Ryan says, kept alive rocking. Ha ha ha. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Appreciate you for tapping in. Kong 2 times says, best in the business. Appreciate you, big dog. Thanks for letting them know. Thanks for letting them know.
We the best!
Real talk. Ryan says, I'm rocking with the red I'm rocking with red. He's too clean. This is kill a family. You're rocking red. I'm not 100% sure what you're talking about, bro. Keanu Burgess says that was a repeat question. It's all good though. Yeah, I know, bro. For some reason, it's like doing some weird stuff here. I got to figure that out. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to rewrite it and make it seem like you were sending it twice. Kelly H says, I want to name that black male Sarge or Darth Vader. He is first all black dog I've seen you produce. You know, we've definitely had a lot of black puppies over the years, you know what I mean? But he is a lot, he does have a lot of black on him, that type of deal. But yeah, appreciate that. And those are some good names. Those are some good names for him for sure. Kelly H says, can you show the parents again? Yeah, most definitely. We'll get to that uh right now. You know, this is just going to be a small sneak peek look at the parents, though. You know what I mean? If you want, let me know and I'll pull up the video where it's got more of everything. Real talk. This is going to be the father. This is Jay-Z Bully's Master Poe. You know, like I stated in the videos, man. I don't, you know, it might seem like some repeat stuff and stuff like that, man, but it's honest to God stuff, man. This boy is one of the most extreme bulls on the planet. That type of deal. And we bred him to a female that is the same way. Real talk. This is the Pops. Ryan says, would you say yours was heavy edge blood or more 30 times Dax? I mean, we got a little bit of everything over here, bro. We got a little bit of everything. We got, you know, we got some dogs that are real heavy on the edge, and we got some dogs that are heavy on the Gotti blood. You know, we ain't got anything that's 30 times Dax, but that type of deal. Red from the bottom says, how do you decide what direction to breed a dog? You know, we take a look at our female, man, and whatever she's lacking, you know, you can't have a litter without, you know, a female. So, of course, we start with the female and we take a look at her and we find out the things that, you know, we find out which her strengths and we find out her weaknesses. And whatever her weakness is, that's what we're going to add to her. You know what I mean? That's what we're going to be looking to breed to her. That type of situation. Um, every dog has a weakness. No dog is perfect. No such thing as a perfect dog. Every single dog out there has a weakness. That type of deal. You know, that was the mom you guys were looking at. Sorry, I'm trying to keep the conversation rolling at the same time. This is going to be the mother, Glorilla. Super, super nice female. And I'll tell you what, man, the footage of this girl does not do her justice. This girl is a bull. We named her Glorilla because she's built like a gorilla. You don't understand what I'm saying? So, uh, bad girl, man. Real talk. Real talk. Oh, golly. Yeah. He's a monster, man. Poe and Glow is the breeding. Poe and Glow. Real talk. Ryan says, "Did you have Oh man, why is it doing that? Why is it doing? Man, dude, this thing's acting weird. It keeps on like repeating the questions and stuff. I don't know why it's doing that. But it looks like I've caught up to everything, man. You know, it looks like the questions are slowing down, that type of deal. We're not gonna kind of, you know, we've been on live for almost 2 hours, man. Probably be shutting it down here soon. If you guys got anything you guys specifically want me to pull up, we've been looking at these puppies the whole entire time here. So if you guys got anything else you want me to pull up, let it be known in the comment section. Red from the bottom says, if you could pick any female ever owed to start Killinois Kennels over, which female would it be? If you could pick any female ever owned to start Killinois Kennels over, which female would it be? Man, that's a hard question, Red from the bottom. Real talk, man. That's a hard question. We've produced a lot of super nice females over the years, man. A lot of super nice females over the years. I can't really think offhand. You know, I would have loved for Kodiak, you know, to actually see her full potential. We showed her on a live not too long ago. But man, there's so many. There's so many, bro, and I could barely narrow it. I could barely narrow it down right now, bro. I can't even think straight. That type of deal. But we've had some super nice girls over the years, man, but we still do have tons and tons of nice girls, man. You know, my female Prodigy was another one. Prodigy was super nice girl. She was, you know, she was half sister to Samurai Paco, but basically with the same pedigree. And she was about twice the size of Paco. 95 pound female. Real talk. Badass girl. But I could, you know, my girl Envy out of Short Shot and Steel. Rocky's mother. Another one. You know, the original problem child. That's another one. That type of deal. Count 3630 says, I hate that exotics exist. Breeders need to stick to the standard. I mean, to me, bro, I used to hate them whenever they used to say they were American bullies. You know what I mean? But now that they created their own breed and they got their own breed and their own breed standard, you know, a lot of them are sticking to the standard now, bro, because they got their own breed. You know, they're their own breed. That type of deal. So, you know, I used to hate exotics whenever they would say, hey, this is an American bully. But now that they're their own breed, I ain't got no problem with them. You know what I mean? And so they do have their own standard, but it's not the American bully standard. And the exotic is not an American bully. The exotic is its own breed. It is an exotic bully. Okay? So they don't need to follow the American bully standard. They need to follow the exotic standard. That type of situation. I just wish the American bullies owners would stop trying to sneak them in, because what they're doing is they're breeding their American bully to an exotic, then registering it with some BS paperwork, which I'm not going to say which paperwork, but it's a lot of paperwork people be trying to sell you puppies with that ain't legit. You could sit there and register a Labrador as an American bully with some of these registries. So, you know, I just wish the way they make these dogs into the ABKC is they'll breed their American bully to an exotic, keep one, and as long as it somewhat fits the standard of the American bully, they'll go ahead and push it in as an American bully. And that's BS. Because I'll tell you what, the way things are going nowadays, here soon, us at Killinois Kennels, for us to keep things the way we want to keep them, it's going to be damn near impossible to step outside of our yard. It is so hard to find studs and stuff nowadays that don't have exotic blood in them. It is unbelievable, man. It is unbelievable. And some of them are nice, man. A lot of them are nice, but we just won't use them because they got exotic blood in them. That type of deal. D Nitty says, damn, they're all fire. I can't wait to get one from you guys. Just waiting for the right time. That's right. That's right, man. Get with us whenever you're ready, bro. Get rid of us whenever you're ready and we'll get you taken care of. Ryan says, so what's the deal with the hat process? Buy a dog, get a killer hat. No, it ain't that, bro. We're going to be getting all the merch going, man. I'm a super busy man, bro, and I'm trying to get everything done. I'm trying to make sure we're not selling people old puppies. stuff like that. I need some time to work on our website. Once I get our website all the way done, the merch will be coming, bro. And you don't have to buy a dog to get a hat. We'll be selling hats, shirts, everything. Everything will be coming here really soon, man. And it's some dope stuff. Some real dope stuff. Red, that was a good ass question. That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, for sure, man. And I mean, I could have got in a little bit deeper with that question, man, but I have to go find some stuff, that type of stuff. Let me see, man. I should double back on that, man. If you guys want me to show you the dogs that I was talking about that would have been contenders, let it be known in the comment section. Father King says, "What advice would you give a new breeder?" Man, there's a tons of stuff I could give new breeders, man. Tons of advice. You know, some of the most important things is don't waste your money saying, "Oh, don't waste time, don't waste money." Saying, "Oh man, I can go get that. I can go get American Bully for $1,000." From this guy over here. You know what I mean? And there's probably, make sure, make sure. The thing is there's so many people doing this stuff, man, that you gotta come out with something special. You understand what I'm saying? If you're trying to build a kennel and you're trying to build a yard and you want to have some success and you want to sell some, you want to be able to actually sell your puppies and not have your first litter and get stuck with them all, give them all the way and give up right before you get out of the game or right before you even get started. That type of deal, man. Do some research, find a kennel that's got good dogs, good blood, do research on those pedigrees, make sure you don't see anything with a bunch of mixed up BS in there. Buy you some quality dogs, man. And for those of you guys that are on a budget as far as money goes and on a budget as far as space goes, I would highly recommend starting with females. Most people, they want to they want to go get a male and a female and things like that. But if you don't got a bunch of money to play with, I would recommend starting with females. Let your females, buy you, say you want to, say you got enough money to buy 3 dogs, that type of deal. I would start off with females. I would get girls and I would buy 3 females. I wouldn't buy 2 females and a boy. I would buy 3 females. And then by the time those females got ready, I would go find 3 different studs with different bloods. And I would also buy females with different bloods as well. You know what I mean? Not the same exact blood, that type of situation going. You know what I mean? Like with us at Killinois Kennels, we have several different strands of bloods. We got Killinois blood. We got Razor's Edge blood. We got Muscle Tone blood. We got Rockomania blood. We got, Dax blood. We got Gotti blood. That type of stuff. You know what I mean? You'll want to find something that you don't want to just keep on buying the same exact stuff. You know what I mean? I would start with 3 females with all different bloodlines. You know what I mean? And then I would find 3 studs that are going to complement those girls once they fully develop. And I would breed to those studs. And then I would keep picks off of those. And that's how you build your yard up. You know what I mean? That type of deal, man. And just don't half-ass this, man. That's the main thing. Don't half-ass it. Don't be cheap. I'm telling you, don't be cheap on anything, because that's when you're not going to have no success, is when you're sitting there being cheap. That type of situation, man. You want to be a breeder and you ain't got a whole lot of money. The best way to start with is females. You buy those girls, say you only got enough for 3 dogs. You buy 3 females. You're going to wait at least till the females are 2 years old to breed them. throughout those 2 years, stack up your money, save your money for studs, save your money for C-sections, all that type of stuff. Just stack that money up for 2 years. And by the time them females are ready, do your research, find your studs, pay for those studs, pay for your C-sections, and you're in the game, man. And then after that, it's super easy. You take your first pick, keep your first picks, and do the same thing with them. And you can actually produce your own stud. Don't worry about it. You're going to get a boy eventually. If you're so stuck on a boy, I would start with females and produce your own male. That way you can choose from a whole litter exactly the boys you want. You know what I mean? That type of deal. Instead of being, cheap and buying a last pick pup and, that type of situation, I would, that's the way I would do it, man. That's my best advice. Is start with females and just, do your own thing, man. Don't follow trends. If you come into this game, see, the thing with a lot of people, bro, in this stuff, they come into this game liking something totally different than what they ended up with in the long run. A lot of people get brainwashed in this game. You might come in saying, man, I want to excel. And then once you get involved in this bully community and you hear what everybody else likes and what everybody else is chasing, then the next thing you know, you're saying, I want a pocket bully. Do you, be different. You know what I mean? Don't follow everybody else's suit. Don't follow everybody else's trends, because those people don't ever make it nowhere. You know what I mean? Those people use other people's dogs to sell their dogs. They can't sell a thing on their own. You understand what I'm saying? Be original. Do your thing. That type of stuff, man. That's not about it, but that's all I can think of right at this exact moment, man. Let's get into some of these other questions. Red from the bottom says, do you think it's important to DNA test dogs since folks breed bullies with exotics to make the dog more pocket? Do you think it's important to DNA test dogs? I mean, it just depends, man, like what you're trying to DNA test for. A lot of people that do DNA tests on dogs, they're doing it just strictly for colors and stuff. And like I told you over here, we don't care about colors, so we don't really do a bunch of DNA testing, and we're not over here doing questionable stuff. We know where our dogs come from, you know what I mean? That type of stuff. So I don't think it's important that you have to do DNA. Most people that do the DNA stuff is just strictly for color. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. And we don't really care about color. If you care about color, do it. You know what I mean? He says, since folks breed bullies with exotics to make the dogs more pocket, I don't think, DNA is gonna, I don't think there's no way to really tell that, bro. You know what I mean? Like, the ABKC now, if you have 3 or more litters with your stud, you got to DNA test it. You know what I mean? You don't have a choice. But that's more for just to know where your dogs come from. That type of stuff, with us, man, we're so real with everything, bro. We've been doing this for 30 years, man. If we had to paper hang dogs after doing it for 30 years, we might as well just take ourselves out the game. You understand what I'm saying? If you got to hang papers from doing this for 30 years, you know what I mean? Like, you should just give up, man. You know what I mean? That type of deal. You know what I mean? The DNA testing is more of like proof of proving who your dogs come from and stuff like that. But now in the ABKC with males, if you breed your stud over 3 times, they make you DNA test it. So in those situations, you ain't gonna have a choice, but that's more to prove prove being parents and stuff like that. So I don't think it's necessarily important as long as you got good morals and ethics. But maybe you want other dogs' DNA test. But like I said, the ABKC is implementing that, and there's going to be a lot of dogs being DNA tests now. That type of deal. Ryan says Vanilla Gorilla is my favorite. That's what's up, bro. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Have we been talking on Facebook, Ryan? Let it be known, man. Let it be known. Have we been chatting on Facebook? Are you the one that's trying to lock in on a Vanilla Gorilla stud feed? Let it be known, bro, because I don't know you by name. Santra Cole says, have you ever heard of the Brazilian Bully? Yes, I have, man. Yes, I have. And that's another situation that is just crazy to me. You know what I mean? Because I actually was over there. I judged 2 dog shows 2 different times in Brazil. And when I judged the show, my first show over there, they was actually in the midst of making this breed, that type of stuff. They were actually getting it going at that time. And when I went over there, I had told the guys, I was like, that just looks like an XL bully. You know what I mean? And they were very, very defensive about that. They were like, no, this is not an XL bully. This is a Brazilian bully, meaning that it's not the same as an American bully. It's a mixed bred dog. You understand what I'm saying? That type of situation. And I hear now that, certain registries are accepting them and as XL bullies and stuff, man. And it's just like, when's this stuff gonna end, man? You understand what I'm saying? Like, it just makes no sense to me how all these different breeds are being able to be put into the American Bully when the American Bully's been around for over 20 years. You know what I mean? There should be no new breeds being introduced to anything American Bully. You understand what I'm saying? But, that's me. That's me with it. Don't get me wrong. I've seen some of them, and some of them are cool looking dogs. But the creators of them told me specifically that they're not an American Bully. They're a mixed bred dog that they're creating their own Brazilian bullies. And that's what they're called, is a Brazilian bully. So is it an American bully? You know what I'm saying? It's a joke, man. It's a joke to me. I feel like the Brazilian bully people should feel disrespected. The people that actually created this breed, I feel like they should feel disrespected that people are trying to make them American bullies now. I seen a video of somebody saying that their Brazilian bully just got accepted into the ABKC as an XL bully. And like I told them from the beginning, it just looks like an XL bully to me, but they took it personal and was arguing with me and telling me that it wasn't an XL bully, but now it's okay. It's just some goofy stuff to me, man. It's just like they need to stop just allowing anything. I don't care if the dog looks like an American bully or not. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't be able to just, here, let me breed this Rottweiler to one of my tricolored American bullies. And, as long as it looks like an American bully, then it's an American bully. You know what I mean? Like, it's just goofy, man. And I'm not hating on them. I've seen some that are cool looking, that type of stuff. But it's just like, when does the BS stop, man? I'm just tired of these registries allowing everything to go. You know what I mean? Like, there has to be a line drawn, that type of stuff. That's how I feel about it. RSN Stackjack says, with the right promo, can I start my yard with a stud collecting fees? Probably not, bro. Probably not. You know what I mean? Unless you just get lucky and get the baddest dog in the world and take it all over the place and let everybody see it and that type of stuff, it's going to be hard, bro. It's going to be hard. Coming straight, starting fresh with just a stud, you know, you might get lucky. That stuff only happens once in a very, very blue moon. You know, I wouldn't try to just get a stud and just collect stud fees. It ain't going to go the way you want, bro. It's a lot of hard work to get a stud going to where it's going to actually benefit you. That type of deal. You know what I mean? I wouldn't just concentrate on a stud. You know what I mean? I would try to build a yard, get out there, get some productions going, that type of deal. You know, because you might think, I wouldn't just, no. With the right promo, can I start my yard with a stud collecting fees? It's not probably going to go the way you want, bro. For real, for real. And that's no hate. That's just how this type of stuff goes, bro. You know, the bully community, the bully world, they're so brainwashed. You know, there's thousands and thousands of studs all over the world, and the bully world uses like 3 of them. You know what I mean? So, you know, you're probably not going to have good success. But I would just work on trying to build a whole yard. Father King says, any update on the dog show in Fresno, California? Yeah, man. I mean, it's coming up in March, I believe it is. March. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Hold on. Let me see here. Let me see if I can find that real quick for you. There really isn't no updates. There is like early lock-ins on booths if you need a booth. But let me see here. No crazy updates, man. It's still quite a bit of a time far away. You know, I know once things starts getting closer, they'll probably put a little bit more pressure on the promo with it. That type of stuff. But I'm trying to find it right now, man. I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to find the banner because I don't know it by heart. March 21st. March 21st, it's gonna be at damn, man, all I'm seeing is, hold on one second. My bad, y'all. Yeah, there's a show coming up that I'm gonna be out there judging March 21st. It's going to be in Fresno, California. It's held by Big Pimpin' Kennels, man. March 21st. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for it. You know, I'll probably post that on one of our videos coming here soon. Stay tuned for it, bro. Count 3630 says, what do you think about genetic health testing for the American Bully? That's another thing that the ABKC is starting. And I just feel like, you know, if they were going to do that type of stuff, they should have did that a long time ago. You know, the reason why they're doing it is because there's problems. That's the reason why they're doing it now, is because there's problems out here. You know, a lot of people are breeding these dogs. A lot of people are breeding these dogs, inbred this to an inbred that, inbred this to an inbred that type of stuff. They're getting, you know, a lot of crazy faults and things like that. You know, I mean, shout out to everybody that is doing the health testing and all that type of stuff. But I just felt like this is something that they should have did a long time ago if they're all worried about it now. You know what I mean? Because those dogs that spread and all that BS have already been out here bred thousands and thousands of times. It's a little too late. It's a little too late. Because if they health test a lot of those dogs, man, they're all going to be banned. Adam, North Carolina says, anybody going to the Carolina Bully Classic next weekend? I'm not specifically, but maybe some people in the comments are. Let them know in the comment section. That type of deal. Let me see here. Let's get into something else. Man, I can't think. If y'all want me to post something up and y'all want me to speak on it, let it be known in the comments section. That type of deal. I'm just gonna pull up pull up this go pull up some studs for y'all to look at. Pull up some studs for y'all to look at while we're talking here, so y'all ain't gotta be stuck just looking at me during this whole live. If any of our Killinois family members are in here and want us to pull up their Instagram, let it be known. Let it be known. All right, man, this is going to be our boy Big Clout. Another one of the most extreme American bullies on the planet. Look at the back shot on this monster. Look at that rear. Look at that waist. Look at the muscles. Boy's off the hook. Father King says, which age do you start or what do you look for when doing your pigs? The older, the better, bro. The older, the better. You know, a lot of people say, oh, you know, it's best to look, you know, in between 6 weeks and 10 weeks and things like that. Nah, man, the best way is the older, the better. The older, the better. And that's why, you know, sometimes we got puppies up at 12 weeks old, 13 weeks old, 14 weeks old, things like that, because that's the only way we can accurately charge you for what you're getting. You understand what I'm saying? That type of deal. So I feel like the older, the better. Atomic CJ says, hey, just tapping in for a bit. I was wondering if you have Venom line or Louis V line blood because your girl China White reminds me of one. She might have a little bit of some Louis V in her, but she has her look because of her father, Riot, you know, and her grandmother Pearl. That's where she gets that look from. We do have some Louis V. We don't have any Venom, that type of stuff. We have the original Louis V. We have some of that blood though. Vince says, I think it's more than 3 years since one of your litters produced a kink tail pup. Keep up the good work and matching the parents. Appreciate that, Vince. Let it be known, bro. Let it be known, man. We used to, you know, like there was a little time where we were using some new blood. We had some dogs with some kink tails and stuff like that. But, you know, and they got on our butts about that, boy. We had stepped outside of the yard, used some new dogs, that type of deal. And they had got on our butts about us having some litters with some kinks. But you ain't seen that for a very long time, man. And shout out to Vince for letting that be known. You know, that ain't me telling you. That's him telling you. That type of deal. Shout out to our Killinois family member, Vince. Thinking about what's your next great pairing. Man, you know, we don't really speak on the future, man, because we got a drop that's already in the works. You know what I mean? But the moment, you know, we get done with this drop, we'll start working on the next one. So make sure you stay tuned for it. Ryan says, I'm just an old fan, been a fan almost 4 years or so. Okay, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. We appreciate you, bro. Thanks for the support. And you're not a fan, you're a supporter, bro. We don't got fans. Red from the bottom says, it's crazy that the ABKC is allowing that. And they wonder why people don't take breeds seriously. If your goal isn't to get your breed recognized by the AKC, you're just money grabbing. Yeah, man, I don't know if the AKC will ever allow us, man. And to be quite honest with you, bro, I wouldn't care if they did, to be quite honest with you, bro. I mean, yeah, you're right. You should want the AKC to recognize us, but they want to recognize us, believe that. They want to because our community is way bigger than theirs. And that's real talk. You if you're not talking about the Westminster show or whatever it's called, if you're not talking about that, man, go to a local AKC show and go see what that show looks like. They're probably whack, and it ain't nothing but a bunch of old frown faced, just weird people. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. A bunch of know it all, uppity, rich, old people that think their crap don't stink. You know what I mean? So I agree with what you're saying, but you know what I mean? Like, we don't care. We don't care if the AKC recognizes us, bro. That type of deal. For real, for real. And they didn't to begin with, and who cares if they do now? That's the way I think about it. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, it'd be dope to be able to go show your dog in the AKC, but but they would just look at us like we were some hoodlums anyways with these dogs, man, like they did from the very birth. That was the whole reason why the ABKC in the American Bully world was started, is because we went to a show. I was actually at that show where the ABKC was created. Okay, we were at a dog show in California, and I was out there doing a breeding with Pratt's from Pratt's Pits. Matter of fact, this is the dog I was using. That's kind of crazy that popped up right there. This is the dog I was using, Pratt's Pits Nemesis. I bred him to my girl Prodigy, which I'm sure I could show you her in this pedigree as well. Yeah. I was the reason why I was out there at that time was because of I was breeding to this boy to this girl right here. And this is a crappy picture of her. She was way more impressive. Keep in mind, I had this dog when we started Killinois Kennels. This dog was probably born in 2002, something along those lines. But this was a 95-pound monster of a female. And like I said, I was breeding her to Pratt's Pits Nemesis, what the dog we were just looking at right there. And while we were out there was a UKC show that we all showed up to. And we showed up with our bulls, and they actually kicked us out of that event. They kicked us out of the event because we had the baddest dogs there. You understand what I'm saying? They thought we were just they just looked at the way we were dressed. We had the baddest dogs there, and they was just like, get them guys out of there. They kicked us out. We went right outside and had our own show outside. We damn near had more people checking us out and dealing with us, and that was when the ABKC was started. They was like, man, we need to just start our own registry. F these guys. And, this was a UKC show, but, that type of situation. But, I'm not, you know, this community was started by the streets, by street people, urban people, that type of deal, man. And once it gets to a situation like that, they're just going to they're going to take our breed, and then they're going to push people out. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't care if they get it or not. The UKC's got the American Bully going right now, and they're doing a whack job with it. You know what I mean? So I would hate to see the AKC running with it as well, because they pretty much got it looking like pit bulls. You know what I mean? The UKC does. Ryan says, I'm going to be blunt. I've bred pits since 1999. Staffordshire Bull Terriers was my pick. Had them all Amstas, APBT, band dogs, and all of it. I love bully market in your style. Nice bones and nice heads. Appreciate that, big dog. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Real talk. You know, I've been around since before 99 as well. You know what I mean? So I know exactly what you're talking about. And all these dogs was called pit bulls before they were even called American bullies. You know what I mean? But we was also, this is, you know, this dog is basically a pit bull. This is Cairo. This dog was basically a pit bull. You know what I mean? Basically a pit bull. He's from Amstaff and American Pit Bull Terrier. You know what I mean? But true American Pit Bull Terrier people would never accept this dog as a real true American Pit Bull Terrier. So that's the whole reason why the American Bully was started with, is because American Pit Bull Terrier people wasn't taking some of the American Bullies serious, things like that, and we just built our own platform, man. And that's how all this was created, man. We were showing up with UKC. They acted like they didn't want the hoodlums there, so the hoodlums went and started the dog bully world that outshines UKC by a mile. By a mile. You know, don't get it twisted. They still get their money off of paperwork, but their events are nothing like ours, not even close. That type of deal. Red from Red from the bottom says APKC is even allowing the Brazilian bully to appear at their events, just like with the Merle. It's a shame they are trying to fill their pockets and not worry about the dog slash standard. Is even allowing American or the Brazilian to appear at the. Yeah, most definitely. I mean, bro, appear at their events. They're registering them as American bullies. You know what I mean? Of course, they're letting them come. They're letting, you know what I mean? That type of situation. And don't get me, man, I've seen some cool Brazilian bulls too. You know, I like a couple of them, but we'll never use them. We'll never breed them because we know that there's funny stuff going on. And like I said, it's not because we're all high and mighty better than people that are breeding them and stuff like that. We just don't want to ruin what we already worked on. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it's about, bro. It's not about hating on their stuff. It's about not putting loose blood into a breed that is already created. You know what I mean? That's why we move the way we do. It's not about hate. It's just the facts. Ryan says, but I could see myself doing bullies. Ain't I just wanted to show staff still working with my male, waiting for the right female, but it's not easy to find. And I enjoy the hunt looking for a AKC pit. Yeah, I mean, you talking about an AKC AM staff because they don't have pit bulls, bro. They have AM staffs, you know what I mean? But I know what you're saying. I'm just kind of joking around as well. But but yeah, man, I mean, yeah, yeah. Russell Estafet says beautiful monster clout. Okay, yeah. They're talking about big clout. Let's go ahead and run it back. Mo- that's right. That's right. We're talking about big clout. Run it back, and then here in a second we'll pull up another mail. Alex Tuller says, "What up, big homie? I just want to know who's trying to become a new Killinois family member." That's right. That's right. That's gonna be my partner, Alex. He's actually the owner of the Glorilla and Master Poe litter. That's right. That's right. Atomic CJ says, "All right, cool. That's what I thought. That she has either, or I understand. I'm sure it's going to be another dope pairing. Yeah, most definitely, man. Most definitely. Stay tuned, CJ. It's coming soon, big dog. Appreciate you." Big Money says, "I need me a nuisance female, bro." You talking about our girl nuisance? Is that what you're talking about, Big Money? Let it be known in the comments section. You talking about this girl right here? Talking about that girl right there? Yeah. I mean, you know, anything with white folks' blood is where you get that, bro. Anything with white folks' blood. Anything with white folks. Nuisance. She brought all, you know, this was her dad Dominator right there. Bad girl, man. She brought a lot of drive, a lot of fire to our yard. You know what I mean? In those days. A lot of she was something different, man. She hated anything that moved. You understand what I'm saying? She was very, she had a lot of prey drive. Very, you know, we had to watch her around other dogs, you know what I mean? That type of stuff. But you know, when we had this girl, they were still called pit bulls. You understand what I'm saying? And that's exactly what she was a pit bull, you know what I mean? She acted like one full all the way through and through, you know what I mean? That type of deal. He says, "Yes, you're old school blood." Yep. Yep. She was a beast, man. She was a nice little ripped up girl with crazy drive. Real talk. Big Money says, "I was close to buying a pup off a Ninja, but ended up getting one from Mike Land." Oh, okay. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, it looks like I've caught all the way up, you guys. Man, we've been on here for a minute. You know, if you guys got anything specific you guys want to talk about, anything specific you want to poll up, let it be known in the comment section. And you know, shout out to everybody that tapped in tonight, man. Real talk. Real talk. You know, I'll stay on here for just a little bit, give you guys a little bit of time if y'all got anything else you want to talk about. If not, we'll probably go live either Thursday or Saturday. Let us know in the comment section. Let us know in the comment section. What do you think? Should we go live Thursday or Saturday, or should we go live both days? Let it be known. Big Money says, "Looking to get another. I'm keeping my eye out for something from you." That's what's up, big dog. That's what's up. Get with us and we'll get you taken care of. Real talk. Father King says, "I'm hoping to snag male number 4." Man, that's what's up, bro. I'll tell you what, man, you've been supporting us like crazy, bro. If you're interested in that boy, get with me and we'll make sure you get him. Real talk. You've been in here supporting us like crazy, and real talk, if you want that dog, bro, it's yours. Let me know. That type of deal. Real talk. Let me go ahead and try to find something else to poll up. Yeah, man, we're gonna go ahead and shut it down, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and shut it down. It's getting kind of lame, man. But people are starting to bounce up in here, man. I really wanted to show you guys a little sneak peek at that Top Dog TV stuff, but we're so far away from 200 likes, it's not even funny, man. If you're new in here and you haven't, make sure you guys hit that like button. Real talk. Antoine Brown says, "Love." That's right, man. Love. That's my partner, Antoine, right there. Real talk. Keanu Burgess says, "Have a great night. Be safe, everyone. Thanks a lot for the live, Dayton." No problem, bro. Thank you for tuning in, man. Thank you for tuning in, big dog. Real talk. Big Money said, "Be easy, bro. I'll be in touch." That's what's up, bro. Thanks for tapping in, y'all. Thanks for tapping in. Man, my energy was man, I've been up since like 4 o'clock in the morning, man. My energy's been kind of whack tonight, you guys. But you know, what do you guys think? Should we go live Thursday? Should we go live Saturday? Or should we go live both days? Let it be known in the comment section, y'all. Before we shut this down, let it be known. Bully Pot says, "Hey, Dayton, does that boy Big Clout have Diego's thing blood in his pedigree? He reminds me of some of that stuff. Just more extreme. Nice boy, though." Appreciate you, big dog. Yeah, most definitely. I'm pretty sure he does. Yeah, he's got to have him in there. I'm not a. Yep, right there, bro. Right there. You know, this is his pedigree. All these dogs you're seeing in his pedigree, you know, these are all dogs in his blood. This is Big Clout's father. Matter of fact, let me close that down so you can actually see it. But But yeah, he does have Diego's thing in him. This is gonna be the dog he's talking about right there, Diego's thing. He most definitely does, and you can kind of see it in his face. You're right. He does kind of does have that little look in his face, that type of deal. But yeah, this is his pedigree. Make sure y'all go check out Big Cloud's ped, man. He's got a stacked ped, unlike any other dog, man. This dog is a Killinois dog done the Killinois way, man. Generations and generations of Razor's Edge, some of the best Razor's Edge blood. Go check out his video, man. He's off the hook. He is an off the hook boy. Well put together dog, man. Mom Duke says, good night, good night, D. I've been here. Much love, Mom Dukes. Why wasn't you talking in here tonight, Mom Dukes? It's all good. It's all good. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. That's Killinois family right there. Russell Estevez, that's Killinois. Man, before I shut this down, man, let me show y'all something real quick. Let me show you. I'm sorry about that, Russell, man. I wish you guys would have I wish you guys would have reminded me, man, because these guys went out to an ABKC show. And if you guys didn't watch that video of what judges were looking for and you didn't watch it all the way to the end, make sure you guys go check that out. But you know, that was a real dope video. I don't know how many of you guys checked that out, but that's some information for y'all that want to learn something. That's a good informational video, man. It's crazy. You know, a lot of our supporters act like they want to see stuff like that, but whenever it drops, for some reason, they don't check it out, man. I'm trying to give y'all some of that type of content, but I need y'all to support it because it doesn't make me real motivated on making content like that. That type of deal. But let me pull this up for our Killinois family. Matter of fact, let's see. This right here is gonna be our Killinois family member, Russell and Kanani. This is their girl. They live out there in Hawaii. They had asked me some questions on how to, you know, like what judges look for. And we ended up making a video out of it, but I ended up explaining everything, what they needed to do. They listened to everything that I stated. They went to the show. They took best female and best variety, man. So big shout out to them. Real talk. Shout out to the Russell Estevez and his wife Kanani, man. Real talk. They did their thing out there. And big shout out to them. But you know, I got some other stuff, man, that we'll try to show you guys something like that. I'm gonna try to do another video, man. Try to do another video on a little bit of that. But Red from the Bottom says, peace out. Appreciate you, big dog. Appreciate you. Much love, Red from the Bottom, man. Straight up. Much love. Killinois family says, nice job. Later, bro. For sure. Big shout out to the homie. But Ted Fuller says, what's up, Dayton, man? You caught the live at the very end, bro. We're about to shut it down, man. But big shout out to you for tapping in, man. Go back and watch it. You know, still pretty dope live, man. Red from the Bottom says, both. The more Killinois, the better. Okay, that's what's up, big dog. We might do that. I'll probably go live Thursday, and then go live Saturday just to freshen it up. For sure. And I'll make sure I come in here with some, you know, more hyped up energy, man. Tonight, it's been just a very long day, man. And I kind of was in the last minute getting in here, rushing everything. It was kind of stressed out. Things wasn't working the way I wanted to, that type of stuff. But I do my best to try to do my best to try to, you know, make these the dopest lives as we can, man. Real talk. Alex Toller the First says, what's up, Dayton? I need that Killinois hoop gear. That's right. Man, shout out to Alex Toller the fourth, man. That's gonna be, you guys remember that name. That little dude right there is gonna be in the NBA here soon. Remember that name and check him out on Facebook. You can see some of his moves, man. He's in the 8th grade right now, if I'm not mistaken, but he's really, really working like a grown-up adult. Keep on pushing, Alex the fourth. Keep on pushing, man. And he just got student of the month. All that, man. Shout out to Alex the fourth, man. Real talk. Mom Duke says she was learning. Jay says that's right, Alex. Some Killinois hoop gear. For sure, for sure. Red from the bottom says, I tap into everything. Anyone trying to learn real bully game would be wise to tap in and hit that like button. I know that's right, big dog. I know that's right. Real talk. Real talk. Miss Killinois in the building. That's right. That's right. New Generation Bully says, what's up, homie from Rockford, tapping in, man. Sorry, big dog, man. We're on our way out, bro. But rewind the live back. Check it out. And we'll be going live again this coming Thursday and Saturday. You know, I'm going to do my best to try to make it happen both days. But, you know, worst case scenario, it'll probably be Saturday. But I'm going to try to go live both days, man. Real talk. CJ says, dope live. Good night. Appreciate you, man. Good night to y'all, man. Real talk. Ryan says, Staffordshire Bull Terriers is what I'm after. I feel like I see Amstaff even more than Staffy Bull Terrier. But yes, it's a whole class of dog that are considered pit bulls, Amstaffs, American Pit Bull Terriers. Yeah. I mean, a Staffy Bull's not, but yeah. Staffordshire Bull is what I'm after. Yeah, I mean, they're cool, man. They're cool. You know, I like Staffy Bulls. I like them. They're cool. But I get it, man, for sure, for sure. Father King says, I rock that gear and haven't got a pup yet. Like the merch, bro. Appreciate that, man. Real talk. Appreciate you. All that stuff's coming, bro. All that stuff is coming. You know, these hats, super dope hats, new eras, all 3D embroidered. All that stuff is all 3D. You see it? That type of stuff, man. All that stuff's coming. We got the Killinois clothing coming. All that stuff's in the works, y'all. Stay tuned. Real talk. And the Staffordshire Bull Terrier. That's right, man. We get it. You like pit bulls, bro. We get it. Most definitely. Most definitely. Most definitely. Mom Duke says she can't wait for the merch. It's coming. It's coming, you guys. Real talk. But man, big shout out to all you guys, man. Appreciate all the support from everybody, man. Everybody trying to, you know, hit that like button, sharing out the live to their social medias and helping keeping the conversation going. Stay tuned for the next one, man. I'm going to try to keep it more lit. And I'm going to try to get somebody to jump on here with us, man. So appreciate you guys, man. Y'all have a good night. Real talk.